Good evening and welcome to the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series here at Martinsville for the Advanced Auto Parts 500. Practice is just wrapping up here, just under 10 seconds left in the practice session. Current top of the boards in practice goes to car number 94, Nicholas Pressey, leading the way here in practice with a fast lap of 18.870 around this 0.53 mile long paperclip known as the Martinsville Speedway. Just moving into qualifying right now and eager to see what type of laps these drivers can put on here for qualifying. Currently looking at Lyle Mitchell, car number 1, coming off a good run at Indianapolis last week. Going to start his first lap. And hugging the bottom is going to be the way around here. That's how you're going to be setting a fast lap here at Martinsville. Getting as close to that inside curb as you can without doing that, without running over the rumble strip. That'll upset your car and lose you some time. First lap on the board goes to Lyle Mitchell, 19.304, looking to set a better time this time by for his flying lap. Touches the curb just a little bit, but that's a good looking lap time from car number 1. It's an 18.961. Or sorry, a 945. The standings just updated. So that's pole time right now for car number 1. Tony Kurgel, last season's champion, and in the chase just set a 19.3, but his fastest lap was an 18.982. So good enough for second right now. We've seen earlier in this season how fast Adam Gracie can be on the qualifying run. So let's see what time he sets as he completes his first lap. 19.735 for Gracie, looking to improve upon it on this second qualifying lap. A little bit high up from the far bottom in turns 3 and 4. Gonna come across the stripe with a 19.381. Currently good enough for 7th on the board. Adam DeFore, another one of coming to start his flying lap, coming across the stripe. He just set a 19.238 on his first lap, looking to improve upon it. Currently 6th right now. Might be able to improve upon it and maybe get into that coveted 18-second time bracket if he can. Overshoots the corner just a little bit, gonna lose a little bit of time. Across the stripe, 19.225 for Adam DeFore, so still in that 6th position. Dawson Kent out on track right now. I haven't seen him in a little bit. Finishing up his flying lap. And that's going to be good enough for 7th on the board with a 19.263 for car number 27. Still waiting on some drivers to get out on track and do some qualifying laps. Primarily, as we actually just got one rolling out on track right now. Car number 94, Nicholas Pressey, was the fastest in practice, so he's got some speed here at Martinsville, waiting to see if he can put it to the test in qualifying. Got those tires warmed up in a good start to lap number 1. Let's see what he can do. Tightly wrapping 1 and 2. Car 94 is. And overdrove 3 and 4 a little bit. Got a little bit loose. He's actually gonna reset his car and try and go for another lap. Coming across the stripe, Brian Wiggins just at a 19.169. Looking to improve upon that, but I think he got a little bit loose in 1 and 2. Not going to be able to do that. He's looking to just finish up his qualifying effort, But 4th place on the board for Brian Wiggins right now. Nicholas Bresci just starting his only lap, as he's going to try to set a better time, getting really close to that curb but not touching it. That's how you want to do it here at Martinsville. Let's see, this time by a little bit high up in 3 and 4. Losing out on some valuable time, but more importantly, he doesn't hit the wall or doesn't get loose. 19.009 for Nicholas Bresci. Sorry, an 18.992 just updated on the board. So Nicholas Bresci breaks into the 18s and is going to roll off 3rd here with a very strong qualifying performance from car number 94. Now, most of the field has qualified. The only driver to not set a qualifying lap just yet that is still in this race is car number 56, Chris Norris. But while we have a little bit of downtime in qualifying, let's give a shout out to our series sponsor, IRD Racing out of Florida. IRD Racing is an industry leader in racing parts, especially carburetors and fuel injection systems. And they are used in all manners of real-world racing, from drag racing to circle track racing to even road course racing. IRD Racing is a widely known name in the real-world racing, especially in the local scenes and national level events as well. Their parts quality and customer service is what truly sets them apart from other race part suppliers and really puts them ahead above everyone else. And there's a reason why people call them the king of carburetors, due to their superior parts quality and customer service. So if you are looking to take your real-world racing program to the next level, don't be afraid to hit up the nice people at IRD Racing, either at irdracing.com or their phone number up on the top right of your screen, 727-967-0189. Always happy to have them on board. IRD Racing, the king of carburetors. You won't regret doing business with them. Always happy to have them on board, and very thankful for their support to make these broadcasts possible. But gearing up for an exciting race here. We got 250 laps here at a hot and humid evening here at Martinsville. You can see the fog from the humidity kind of rolling out on track, making visibility a little bit harder, and I know that's going to keep this track very hot with all of that warm air. It's very cloudy, but it's still going to be a pretty hot track. So I think that until it gets to nighttime and that humidity starts to go away, this track will be very, very slick, and definitely going to be a challenge for your pole sitter Lyle Mitchell and this field of what looks like to be 16 drivers. This is the largest field we've had in NSR in quite a little bit. For Martinsville of all tracks, definitely going to be very interesting. Hoping we can get some nice long green flag racing to really show off the quality of this NSR field, because Martinsville, when it creates long green flag runs, it creates some good racing. And you might see people trying different lines in the corners, run a little bit higher to try and get more grip, especially as that far bottom line starts to rubber in. The tires leaving their mark on the track. That line will get harder to accelerate from, so you might see people running a little bit above it to get those right side tires gripped up and get a better launch on exit. Because really, the center and exit of these corners is going to be what makes or breaks your race, due to the long straightaways here. So, you can sacrifice entry a little bit and have a great exit or great center and exit speed and make up for any time lost on entry. Kyle Petty used to famously go completely off the gas coming across the start finish line to prepare for turn one, and he would have great center and exit speed just because he let off so early. So this may seem like a pretty simple track on paper, but there's definite layers to how you can race this track. And man, when you get side by side with someone here, it is a challenge to get a pass completed, because that outside line, you know, if they pin you down on the inside, it makes it real hard to get a good drive off. So it's a type of track that both encourages passing, but also definitely doesn't make it easy. It's not like something like Bristol, where you can get to the inside of someone. Or not, Bristol's not that great of a comparison. It's not something like Dover or Indy, where where if you get to the inside of someone, you can pretty easily get past them. Especially once the tires wear. Tire wear definitely going to be a thing here, but qualifying has just concluded, so we can get to your starting lineup here at Martinsville. Starting on pole, it's going to be Lyle Mitchell in P1 as car number 1, and on his outside is going to be defending season champion Tony Kurgel in car number 13, just outside of pole position, but a good starting spot. Although he's going to be on the outside, going to be a little bit tough for him to start on the outside pole, but hopefully he can jump to the inside rather quickly. Starting on the inside of row number 2, it's going to be car 94. Nicholas Pressey has been very strong in the races that he's shown up to. And on his outside, starting in position number 4, rounding out row number 2, is going to be current chase leader Mark Sakoshi and car number 8, looking to extend his points lead going into the final race next week at Las Vegas. Rounding out your top 5 is car number 3, Brian Wiggins, looking to make up some ground to the car just ahead of him in position, Mark Sakoshi, to close up the gap in the chase race. And right next to him on his outside is going to be car number 29, Ray Partridge, also in the chase, looking to make a comeback after a pretty slow start to his chase at Indy. Justin Cope in car number 59 on the inside of row number 4, starting off in 7th. And on his outside is going to be Adam DeFore, both these drivers in the chase and looking to catch up to car number 8. In 9th, it's Dawson Kent on the inside of row number 5. And rounding out your top 10 is Dylan Lansdale in car number 24. First car outside the top 10, it's going to be Elijah Grant in car number 4. On his outside is going to be Adam Gracie with a qualifying performance that he's looking to, he'd probably prefer to have a lot better starting spot, but he has a lot of work cut out for him to work his way through the field, starting in 12th. Behind him in row number 7 is Colin English and John Bittler in cars 45 and 88 respectively. John Bittler also in the chase, looking to work his way through the field for some valuable chase points. And rounding out your field, it's going to be Robert Wiggins in car 26, and then Chris Norris in car 56 in row 8. Rounding out your field of 16 drivers, Shane Gentry showed up for practice, but said he did not have a handle on the car, so he will wait till Las Vegas to make his first start in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series. Pace car lights are off, so we are going green this time by. Pace car is in, and then waiting for the green flag to drop so Lyle Mitchell can lead this field of 16 cars to the green flag. Green flag is out. Good start by Lyle Mitchell, but a great start by Kurgel. Kurgel actually getting really loose. And oh, cars all around. It's a huge stack up in turn 1. Oh my god. Oh, Dylan Lansdale straight into the back of Wiggins. And that sent Wiggins up and over as looks like some sort of miscue with Tony Kurgel, sent that number 13 around in turn 1. And oh my days, we got drama in turn 1, lap 1. It's not even a road course, it's Martinsville. So let's get a replay to see what the heck happened. I mean, I kind of saw what caused it, but we need to see the extent of the damage because a lot of drivers got involved in that accident. Okay, taking a look in the super slow-mo cam, you can see Tony Kurgel on the outside. It looks like he missed a shift or something. That car just did not fire off, and that car's all sorts of sideways. Sakoshi gets right into the back of him, nowhere to go, and then Kurgel gets just sent into Wiggins, and then the track essentially becomes blocked. I mean, I'm gonna do a little bit of a broadcast sin here and pause it. But if you look at this, I mean, the track is completely blocked into turn one. You can see Dylan Lansdale still making some contact with the sideways car of Partridge at this freeze frame, and then it just deteriorates to hell in a handbasket. You see Sakoshi's around in the back. Cope parked right behind him. DeFore involved. It's not lightly put to say that this has major chase implications. With a massive stack up in turn one. The good thing about Martinsville is that aero damage isn't really going to be much of a factor. Because you're not going fast enough for it to really matter that much. But I'm wondering if some of these chase cars might have suspension damage. Like, for example, Adam DeFore, who took a pretty nasty lick into that outside wall, might be kind of struggling with handling. But you can see a bunch of cars with front end damage, as Lyle Mitchell gonna lead this field of now damaged race cars to the green flag single foul, since we didn't make a lap of green flag racing, and he's gonna be leading Dawson Kent and Adam Gracie to the green flag for the first restart. Green flag is out, and Lyle Mitchell is underway. Chris Norris did not get a good start in the back at all. Kind of checked up the field as Colton English in the 45 had a dive to the inside. But you can see Mark Sakoshi in the back of this field behind Justin Cope and Adam DeFore. Not the start to his race that he wanted at all. But up at the front, it is Lyle Mitchell leading the way. Most of these cars going single file now, thanks to the single file restart, not allowing for a whole lot of passing to immediately start on the fast break from the green flag. Going back to Tony Kurgel, and you can see one of the chase drivers. I believe that is Ray Partridge. Not Ray Partridge. Sorry, Brian Wiggins. As caution flag is out, and Robert Wiggins is sideways. So let's get a replay to see what happened to him, as this fog is kind of washing out the camera feed. But let's get a replay to see what happened to car number 26. So currently looking at Robert Wiggins in the slow-mo cam. He's right behind Chris Norris. And yeah, it looks like the rear end just goes away on him in the center of the corner. And panic avoidance by Nicholas Pressey. A quick move that was necessary. And we do have our first retirement of the race. Dylan Lansdale. Looks like he sustained too much damage in that accident, and had to retire from this race. But you can see Brian Wiggins has no front end on that number 3 car, and we are only 11 laps in the race. He's going to receive the lucky dog, so he's going to get his lap back. But that car looking a lot closer to a Whelen modified than a Gen 4 Cup car, at least from the front shot. So yeah, this is the humidity on track creating this fog, making it kind of hard to see the colors of these cars. Hopefully once the sun goes down, that fog will kind of dissipate a little bit. As you can see, Nicholas Pressey racing to try and beat the pace car out of pit lane. If you're any of the chase contenders that got involved in that lap 1 pileup, you're going to really hope for a lot of cautions in the first half of this race, because you don't want to be going laps down trying to get your car fixed, but you want to get your car repaired so you can have as good of a shot as possible. taking a look at current chase leader, Mark Sakoshi. You can see that both the front and back end of that car is pretty banged up. But really, if as long as the suspension or engine isn't damaged, then it's not really going to matter too much. You can get away with a lot of damage here at Martinsville as long as it's purely cosmetic. Because like I said, aero doesn't matter that much, but pace car is back in. And we're going to be going green flag racing once again with Lyle Mitchell leading us to the second restart of tonight's event. And green flag is out. Good start for Lyle Mitchell as he's going to lead the field into turn 1. Everyone being pretty cordial. You can see Tony Kurgel getting a move made on him by Colton English in car number 45. So, caution's out once again. It looks like Lyle Mitchell went around. Slow car of Lyle Mitchell in turn 3, bringing out the third caution of today's event. Let's get a replay to see what happened to car number 1. So looking at Lyle Mitchell, he's got Adam Gracie right on his tail coming into turn 3. And oh yeah, looks like Adam Gracie just kind of overdrove the corner a little bit while Mitchell was trying to, get to the bottom, taking it easy, and that just sent Mitchell around. Luckily, he didn't go fully around, so he didn't have to wait for the entire field to pass him. He was able to kind of get that ship righted to only lose a few spots. Only went from 1st to 5th, but I'm sure the driver of that one car isn't going to be too happy with Adam Gracie. And here at Martinsville, tempers can boil over pretty quickly as a product of that Martinsville short track racing. But the bumps here at Martinsville, very easy to send a car around, especially with how the bumpers line up on these cars. At the short tracks, very easy to just, not even intentionally, I'm not saying that Adam Gracie, purposely moved him out of the way. It was just Gracie overdrove the corner a little bit in comparison to Mitchell, and the bumpers just did not align. But very easy to lift up the rear end of the car in front of you with a little bit of a tap. And if you're in the process of going into the corner, that's especially on the brakes. It's super easy to get one of these Gen 4 cars sent around on you. Looks like Mark Sakoshi goes a lap down, trying to get some extra pit repairs done on that 8 car, hoping for a quick caution so he can get back on the lead lap. Adam DeFore, the car in front of him, not position-wise, currently 2 laps down. So some of your chase contenders and a little bit of early race peril, but a lot of race to go here. Pace car is in. Adam Gracie leading this field back to the green flag for restart number 4 here on lap number 18. Green flag is out. Good start for Gracie. Kent going to get a good start as well. Partridge in that damage number 29. Going to try to catch up to these two. Lyle Mitchell already to the inside of Elijah Grant. Going to take that position away. Tony Kurgel moving to the inside of Chris Norris. And now Robert Wiggins looking to take advantage of Chris Norris, the lone car on that outside line. Norris not able to get down to the bottom very quickly. And he's going to have to suffer the wrath of the inside line as he actually hits the outside wall. And looks like he's just going to fall to the back and not try to fight the cars on the inside. Tony Kurgel looking to work his way up through the field, coming to the back end of Colton English in car number 45. Not able to get anything on him just yet, but here at Martinsville, it's a lot of cat and mouse games. You kind of stay on the back end of someone for a while, especially if you're a little bit faster. You have to really set up the pass. As you can see, Colton English thought about making a move to the inside of Elijah Grant. Now fully goes for it as Grant goes a little bit wide in the center of the corner. Now side by side for 5th place between Grant and English. Grant gonna let off, gonna break pretty early into turn 1, gonna let both these drivers by. So Grant's gonna slide from 5th to 7th in 1 lap. And now Kurgel looking to bust a move on Colton English. Not going to be able to make it happen as he had to get out of the gas a little bit on exit. But English certainly leaves the door wide open for Kurgel to take, as Kurgel going to take the 5th spot away from Colton English. Further up front, Lyle Mitchell trying to get his spots back in car number 1, right behind the damaged number 29 of Ray Partridge. Partridge taking a pretty wide entry, leaving the door open for Mitchell as he's going to sneak to the inside on the exit of 4, and Partridge is going to let that 1 car by. So Lyle Mitchell moving into the 3rd spot, eager to hunt down the 2 cars in front of him of Dawson Kent and Adam Gracie. Further in the back for 8th, Elijah Grant under fire from Justin Cope, who looks like he's got a lot of the damage that he sustained in that lap 1 incident repaired. So it seems like it was pretty minor damage on car number 59, but he still has the mammoth job of working his way back to the front. Elijah Grant kind of getting freight trained on that inside as Brian Wiggins gets past him in that number 3 car with no front clip. Grant having problems getting the handle on this car, kind of overdriving the corners, and that's going to allow Pressey to get past him. So Pressey also sustained damage in that lap 1 pileup. Seems like he's battling a loose car, maybe a little bit of wheel damage on that left rear, causing a little bit of looseness for car number 94, if I were to guess. But I'm not too sure. That I'm only guessing just based on the fender damage. Maybe he got clobbered in the right rear a little bit, and that kind of skews the car, or at least upsets the balance of it a little bit. That's something that he'll have to adapt to, as we're now getting into a pretty solid green flag run, going for about 13 laps now. And the field starting to string itself out, very typical of Martinsville. And man, if I'm Mark Sikoshi, I'd kind of be sweating a little bit right now, because the leader is setting, 19.5s, and you're setting 19.8s stuck behind other cars. You need to caution ASAP to prevent other cars from going a lap down, especially when you have Chris Norris going not very fast. As for 2nd, Lyle Mitchell has gone around Dawson Kent, so Mitchell really marching his way through the field, matching times with Adam Gracie at the moment. But like I said, if you're Mark Sikoshi, you really have to get a caution lap ASAP, because Chris Norris is going to be lapped soon, as he's having a hard time getting that 56 car around this track. Battle for 9th heating up between Brian Wiggins and Nicholas Pressey in car 94, and then they're behind Brian's brother Robert Wiggins. As Brian thought about moving to the inside of Robert, but not going to be able to make it happen. As you see Sikoshi, or sorry, that's not Sikoshi. That is Sikoshi. Sikoshi got around DeFore and starting to put up some faster lap times now. Now that he's gotten around that 5 car. But Adam DeFore is not on the same lap as Sikoshi. So Adam DeFore in a pretty tough spot early on, as Pressey getting close to the back end of Wiggins. Now moving to his inside, coming down the front straightaway here, looking to establish that inside line to the inside of Brian Wiggins. Wiggins going to fight back on the outside here. Both those drivers braking hard into turn 3. Wiggins kind of out of the preferred line and going to let Presley by without too much fuss. As Tony Kurgel has caught up to the back end of Ray Partridge for the 4th spot and is looking to get past him. As bad news for Mark Sikoshi, Chris Norris has now gone a lap down. He's right behind Lyle Mitchell. So if the caution were to come out right now, it would be Chris Norris getting the lucky dog, and not Mark Sikoshi, as Ray Partridge lets Tony Kurgel by. So move Tony Kurgel into the 4th position. Dawson Kent approaching the lapped number 56 car. Chris Norris playing very nice, getting out of the leader's way. Very courteous, as always, from number 56. Further in the back, Nicholas Paresi looking to make up some ground on the cars ahead. He's got Robert Wiggins right in front of him, and the lapped car of Adam DeFore. Paresi using a good usage of that middle line. You can kind of see it in that camera shot. He was going in the middle and then cutting down on exit. A diamond, almost a little diamond line, if you will. Or if you also do road racing, you might call that a late apex. But either way, the point still stands. Some drivers are tightly wrapping that far inside line right from the curb, and then others are using that middle line and cutting down for added speed down the straightaways. But Paresi still working on the back end of Robert Wiggins as Wiggins moves to the inside of the lap car of DeFore. Further up front, Dawson Kent and Tony Kurgel going at it for 3rd place. Kurgel going to get by Kent without too much fuss. So Tony Kurgel from 2nd to last, back up to 3rd, and now looking to hunt down that 1 car of Lyle Mitchell. Only about 1.2 seconds ahead. But Adam Gracie currently with a 3.7 second lead over 2nd place, keeping that car nice and composed. Haven't really seen a wiggle out of that 17 besides him overdriving the corner into the back end of Lyle Mitchell. But ever since then, he has kind of checked out from everyone else, been running some of the fastest and most consistent laps of this field. Really the only person matching him in lap times is Tony Kurgel, and he's about 4.5 seconds down the road from Adam Gracie. So Adam Gracie can comfortably log some laps in here, just keep it clean and manage the lap traffic in front of him pretty efficiently. But the nightmare continues for Mark Sikoshi, as he's still not the first car 1 lap down. He got around Chris Norris, but now he has to deal with Elijah Grant also a lap down, and he is about 7 seconds behind that 4 car. As right behind them is Tony Kurgel, catching up to the back end of Lyle Mitchell. Mitchell getting around the 4 car of Elijah Grant, and Grant scrapes the wall a little bit. That's going to slow up Kurgel a little bit as he had to dive to the inside a little bit. Going to kill some of his momentum. It's not going to be too much as Grant gets way out of the way up into the marbles up top. As further towards the back, Nicholas Paresi's desperately trying to get around Robert Wiggins, not able to make anything come to fruition in car number 94. Maybe that damage isn't really helping him all that much, but we'll check back on that later. Tony Kurgel really hunting down the 1 of Lyle Mitchell right now. as he's cutting that gap down to about half a second coming into turn number 3. As Brian Wiggins has now gone a lap down. Bressy's still looking to get around Robert Wiggins, as Kurgel is now starting to firmly apply the pressure onto the back end of Lyle Mitchell. Mitchell taking a pretty shallow entry compared to Kurgel. You can see Kurgel really rolls the center of the corners a lot better than that one car. That 13 very strong in the center of the corner, and that's allowing him to build up a lot of time on that one car. You can see Mitchell also getting a little bit loose on exit, so maybe a pit stop adjustment to tighten up that one car might be in order when these cars come down pit road. But now that Kurgel's at the back end of Mitchell, trying to figure out the best way to get around that one car. And if I'm Adam Gracie, I want Lyle Mitchell to fight tooth and nail to keep Kurgel behind, because doing so is allowing him to pull away that gap even more. This is a great showing from car number 17 thus far. 57 laps in the books, and he's led the majority of them, and trying his best to pull away. Gap almost to about 4 seconds now from first to second. I'll tell you what, a good run for this number 27 team of Dawson Kent. Currently in fourth, about 2 seconds behind the car in front, Tony Kurgel, but kind of just having a quiet race, avoided the carnage on lap 1, only has a little bit of front end damage from that incident, and is kind of just running his own race, still running very competitive lap times. Actually one of the fastest cars in the field right now. Oh, but that's going to hurt him a little bit as he clips the curbs twice in 1 and 2. But either way, he's been doing a good job of keeping that 27 car out of trouble. As for 6th, we just see Justin Cope completing the pass on Colin English down the back straightaway. So Cope looking to gain some time, or not some time, some championship points on Mark Sakoshi, who's still currently a lap down. But if this green flag run continues, Sakoshi at the very least will most likely catch the car in front of him to be the last car on the lead lap, that car being Brian Wiggins. The handling on that 3 car starting to go away. Wiggins got sent around in turn 1 by Mitchell. Good save by Brian Wiggins, but I'm sure that he's probably not too happy with that one car, and that's allowed Tony Kurgel to really close the gap between the 2 cars. Front end damage on that one car now, as he kind of muscled Brian Wiggins out of the way. I think by the end of this race, if this goes green to the end, the only car you'll see without any front end damage will probably be this number 17 if he maintains the lead here. But now Lyle Mitchell trying to stretch out that gap once again to Tony Kurgel behind him, as that little mix-up between Mitchell and Brian Wiggins added an extra second to the gap from second to first. So Adam Gracie enjoying an even larger cushion now, and now he can maybe try and hold back a little bit. You know, still about 190 laps in this race, but you don't have to push it as hard. You don't have to. As I say that, the caution comes out, and it's Justin Cope around in turn 3 and 4. So let's see what happened to car number 59, to bring an end to the longest green flag run that this race has had to offer so far. Just looking at car number 59 entering turn 3, hard on the brakes, entering really, really fast. And that car's already out of control as he clips the curb. And that car does a four-wheel slide, overcorrects, and then he has to slam on the binders to not hit that outside wall. So a single car spin is what's going to bring out, I believe, the 5th caution of today's event. As pit stops are underway, Lyle Mitchell getting into his pit box. See if he can win the race off of pit road. See, Adam Gracie will still win the race off of pit road. Lyle Mitchell going to come out of pit lane in 2nd. Brian Wiggins jumping into pit lane to get some of the damage repaired after being the lucky dog. But this is what Mark Sakoshi needed, even if you know he didn't get the lucky dog. There's still going to be this is still going to kind of stack the field up and allow for cautions to breed more caution, so he can get himself back on the lead lap and then get more damage repaired on that number 8 car. As we are 1 lap to green. See Robert Wiggins going around the pace car to catch up to the tail end of the lead pack and not impede these lead lap drivers. So your top 5 at the moment is Adam Gracie, Lyle Mitchell, Tony Crozier, Ray Partridge, and Dawson Kent. Looks like Dawson Kent lost a spot on pit road, but pace car is in, and it's going to be Adam Gracie. His gap now reduced, leading this field back to the green flag. Green flag is out. Great start from Adam Gracie. A huge start for that 17 car to kind of eliminate himself from any potential threats to the inside into turn 1. Mitchell now going to be more preoccupied with that fast Tony Kurgel behind him than the 17 in front for the time being. As Dawson Kent looking to make a move to the inside of Partridge. Got to his inside on corner exit. Can he maintain it entering turn 3? It looks like he's going to be able to, but oh, he locks up the tires and gets into Partridge. That's going to lose him a ton of spots as he entered in there pretty hard and locked up the tires trying to get that car to turn. So he's going to drop from about 5th to 8th right now, as we watch Tony Kurgel putting on the pressure on Lyle Mitchell right now. See, yeah, Brian Wiggins just got past Dawson Kent, so maybe something's a little damaged on the toe of that 27 car, because yeah, it looks like he's having a little bit of issues trying to get that thing down to the bottom. Now Brian Wiggins looks to the inside of his brother Robert, and oh, that's gonna send the 26 around and into the outside wall. Brotherly love and not a thing here at Martinsville, as Robert Wiggins got sent by his brother into the outside wall of turn number 4 for 7th place. So let's see if we can get a replay on that. So coming into turn 3, yeah, I mean, Brian Wiggins was there, but it was an aggressive move, and it just led to contact between the two. Luckily, it's just some rear end damage for car number 26, so it shouldn't hurt him too bad. Just backed it into that outside wall. But this is a godsend for Mark Sakoshi, who, as the as the first car 1 lap down, he's going to get his lap back and finally be able to get some repairs done on that number 8 car to be more competitive towards the end of the race. So with that, there are 10 cars on the lead lap. The first car 1 lap down is going to be Justin Cope, who's currently in pit lane. And Adam Gracie is your leader right now. So your top 5 is Adam Gracie, Lyle Mitchell, Tony Kurzel, Ray Partridge, and then Nicholas Pressey has made his way into the top 5 here. So a good recovery effort from car number 94 to get himself back in the top 5 and maybe threaten that 17 car, which seems to be the car to beat right now. This time by, the pace car lights will turn off, signifying 1 lap to green. And yep, pace car lights are off. It's going to be Adam Gracie leading this field back to the green flag for, I believe, the 6th restart of, I believe it's the 6th restart of today's event. Pace car is in, and Adam Gracie. The field is all re-wrecked and hungry for some more action. Adam Gracie is going to be the one leading them to their out of turn number 4, coming to lap number 80. Green flag is out. Good start by Gracie after a little bit of a bump from Lyle Mitchell to say, hey, get going. But it looks like everyone's getting through turns 1 and 2 pretty calmly. Mitchell still holding on to 2nd as Gracie looks to put them farther away in his rear view mirror. Nicholas Pressey looks to dive to the inside of Ray Partridge for the 4th spot. Side by side between Partridge and Pressey. Pressey going to have a preferred line entering turn 1. Partridge going to give him more than enough room. So Pressey going to secure that spot. And he's going to move himself into the 4th position. Mark Sikoshi finally making moves for position now that he's back on the lead lap, just past Robert Wiggins for the 8th spot. See Robert Wiggins kind of trapped on the outside right there. Ooh, Brian Wiggins with a little bit of lockup into turn number 3. Robert Wiggins going to try to sneak back to his inside. Can he get the move made? No, he gives a lot of room to his brother to get him to the inside. Further up through the field, Lyle Mitchell hanging on to the back end of Adam Gracie. Gracie a little bit loose on exit. Lyle Mitchell looking to pounce on car number 17 should he make a mistake. About 0.3 of a second separating 1st and 2nd as a big dive into turn 1. Lyle Mitchell hungry to get to the inside of Adam Gracie. Mizzou Gracie kind of overcooked the entry a little bit, going to lose some more time to Mitchell. Mitchell still not able to get to his inside. I thought Lyle Mitchell was going to go straight into the back end of Gracie right there. Maybe Mitchell's trying to send a message saying, hey, I don't appreciate what you did to me when I was in the lead. Going to try to scare you a little bit as Mitchell got over the curbs. Going to lose some time to that 17 car. But Lyle Mitchell not afraid to throw an elbow here to get back the lead from that 17 car. But he'll have to reach his back bumper again to be able to do so. And at the moment, it looks like Gracie's doing a good job of putting some space between cars 17 and 1 on lap number 89 out of 250. We got a car around on the back. That is Ray Partridge out of turn number 2 sideways and has to get that car righted. I was just about to check up on Dawson Kent to see how he was doing, and I saw that 29 car go around, so let's get a replay to see what happened to him. Coming out of turn number 2. It looks like he clipped the curb a little bit, and that kind of upset the balance of the car, and the car just kind of tank slapped the wall. So, unfortunate break for Ray Partridge. The bright side is that he didn't go a lap down doing that. He was able to get out ahead, get righted ahead of the pace car. But something that I'm pretty interested in seeing is, do we see a little bit of beef between cars 1 and 17 on this restart? We saw a little bit of a bump on the restart from that 1 car, and then Mitchell really diving it deep right behind the 17. So I'm wondering that if Lyle Mitchell gets to the back end of that 17 car, maybe on the opening laps of this next restart, do we see the proverbial chrome horn used? And the first scratches on that number 17. As you see Mark Sikoshi in pit lane getting out just ahead of the pace car. So he's getting as much damage on that number 8 car fixed. So he can have a shot in the latter half of this race. That 8 crew doing a good job getting that Budweiser car repaired. And we might see that number 8 car as a force to be reckoned with in the later stages of this race. That's kind of the benefit of getting damaged super early in the race on lap 1. You have so many laps here at Martinsville to get all that damage repaired. And since this tends to have a bunch of cautions, just due to the tight nature of this track, and you're really fighting for one piece of real estate, you can get laps back pretty quickly and get damage repaired without too much of a fuss. But pace car is going to go into pit lane, and it's going to be Adam Gracie leading us to, I believe, the 7th restart of today's event. Green flag is out. Good jump by Gracie to pull out ahead of Lyle Mitchell as they all barrel into turn number 1. Don't see anyone trying to go side by side just yet, but we see Brian Wiggins work to the inside of the lapped Elijah Grant. But Mark Sikoshi looking to pull a fast one on Brian Wiggins ahead of him. And that would put Brian Wiggins further behind in the points, as currently he's 12 points behind that number 8 car in the chase standings. He needs all the points that he can coming into the final race next week at Las Vegas. See, ooh, that's the 4 of Elijah Grant into the wall at the top of the shot. That car just not handling very well. See Dawson Kent all over the back end of Colton English in the corners. English way overshot the corner, went way up the track, and that's going to allow Dawson Kent to get by without too much of a fuss. So Dawson Kent back in the top 5. A good car on in the capable hands of driver of the car number 27, Dawson Kent, doing a good job getting that Chevy City car back into the top 5, and hopefully he can hold on to it for a good result for Dawson Kent. Mark Sikoshi looking to the inside of Brian Wiggins on the exit of 4. They're almost dead even down the front straightaway here. Wiggins really sent it in to the corner. Sikoshi with a better drive on exit, though. He's going to nose ahead down the back straightaway, going to have the preferred line into 3. Do we see a bump from Wiggins? No. Brian Wiggins going to play nice with Sakoshi and let him have the spot. So Sakoshi up into the 8th position, as he's looking to put as many points on this field as possible. But his main rival for this chase is going to be Justin Cope, who is currently behind him in 10th, 3 spots behind him, but he has a completely clean car. So if the caution comes out again, I don't think Cope will have to pit again, since that car looks completely repaired. As, whoa, we see Brian Wiggins getting really sideways. But the person who's sitting prettiest from all of this calamity that's happened early in the race is the 13 of Tony Kurgel. He's currently 5th in the chase standings, 14 points behind Mark Sakoshi. And a good result like this, and some hope and maybe some misfortune from the caution comes out. I was going to say some misfortune from Sakoshi would bring Kurgel closer to him. We see Dawson Kent got brought into the pit lane. So let's see what happened to the driver of car number 27. As, it looks like he way overdrove the corner and maybe broke something on that 27 car. He stepped it on the outside wall, and that brought out the caution. So multiple cars diving into pit lane, but like I said, Justin Cope does not have to go into pit lane, so that's going to put him ahead of Sakoshi, who's still in pit lane for repairs. But I tell you what, Adam Gracie has been looking real stellar. This race. Ever since getting the lead, he's really hasn't had a lot of competition except on the restarts from Lyle Mitchell. But I'm interested to see how this holds up as the track gets cooler when it goes to nighttime, and as these typically fast guys like Sakoshi and Wiggins and the others get their cars closer and closer to fully repaired from that lap 1 incident. As if you remember, Adam Gracie started way in the back. I think he was starting just inside the top 10. I believe he started 9th. So he's been able to show off that he has a lot more than just qualifying pace. But 1 lap to green. So we have 10 cars on the lead lap. Your top 5 at the moment is Adam Gracie, Lyle Mitchell, Tony Kurgel, Colton English. Colton English with a great run in car number 45. And then Justin Cope, a good recovery from car number 59. That rounds out your top 5. As I think this might be the night where we see Adam DeFore kind of lose his chase hopes, as he's 9 laps down right now and 12 points behind Sakoshi. But pace car is in. It's going to be Adam Gracie leading this field to the green flag. Good start by Gracie. Lyle Mitchell kind of slow off the rip, and Kurgel looking to make a move on him, but not happening just yet, as Kurgel's still looking to the inside. Kurgel looking to the inside. Mitchell going to have to block that, as Colton English got a good start as well. Further in the back, we have Pressey and Robert Wiggins going at it for the 7th spot. Pressey going to get around Wiggins, and then Wiggins going to have to deal with the lap car of Adam DeFore and Mark Sakoshi on his inside. Like I was saying, Colton English having a very good run for car number 45 right now. as I don't remember if he's gotten a top 5 in this season. So if he can hold on to this result, it will be a very good result for Mr. English. But further up front, Adam Gracie trying to put some distance between him and car number 1. Clip the curb a little bit on exit, and that's going to lose him some time to Lyle Mitchell, who's really closing in on the back bumper of car number 17. Gracie taking a really wide entry into the corners, but it's allowing him to have a better drive on exit. You can see how much time Lyle Mitchell makes up in the corners, but it kind of goes away on exit once Gracie can get the power down. As the lap car of Chris Norris just coming out of pit lane kind of makes it hard to navigate, as he took up the best piece of real estate on the track as the leaders were coming by. Good job to everyone for getting around him, but now Justin Cope having to deal with Colton English, and then the lap car of Chris Norris on his outside with a very fast Nicholas Pressey right behind him. Looks like they're able to dispatch Chris Norris, but Colton English overshoots the corner a little bit. He's going to try to clear Cope down this back straightaway. Not going to be able to happen. And now Cope looking to the inside of Colton English. Pressey looking to follow him as Colton English gets into the wall. So that's going to expedite the process of Pressey getting around Colton English. So Colton English going to go from 4th to 6th. But further up front, are we seeing that magic that Adam Gracie was having starting to fade away on car number 17, as Lyle Mitchell very hungrily looking to his inside in the corners. Lyle Mitchell getting really close to the back bumper of car number 17. I doubt that he forgets what happened between him and Gracie earlier in the race to take Mitchell out of the lead. But he's got to move, and a little bit of contact between cars 1 and 17. That's going to allow Mitchell to get past him. Do we see any retaliation from car number 17? Coming out of turn 2. Gracie really tried. You can see how loose he got it from when he throttled up, trying to get into the back end of Lyle Mitchell, but he's able to save it. But now he has to worry about the 13 of Kurgel right behind him. So first lead change in quite a while, right before the halfway point. Lap 120 out of 250. Lyle Mitchell retakes the lead from Adam Gracie. And now he has to worry about Tony Kurgel right behind him. Nicholas Pressey trying to find a way around car number 59, Justin Cope. He's doing a good job holding down 4th for the time being, but Pressey, he's got a lot of turn through the center of the corner. And battle for 2nd, really heating up as, big sideways moment for Gracie. Great save, but he's going to lose the spot as he's going to dive into pit lane. So Gracie looks like he's going to opt for new tires after that big slide. I don't know if that's really the move, because he's going to definitely lose at least a lap doing that. But that's going to make Lyle Mitchell's day a lot easier, as he only has to worry about Tony Kurgel behind him. As, Adam Gracie just went a lap down. He might go another lap down as this field goes around once more. But back to the battle for 3rd. Pressey looking to get around that 59 car, trying to chop it down low on the exit of the corner. Not able to make it happen just yet. as Pressey hounding the back end of Justin Cope. We're past halfway here in the Advanced Auto Parts 500 here at Martinsville. But the gap between Lyle Mitchell and Tony Kirchhoff has closed. I think the handling is starting to go away on that one car. And this 13 and 94 are both coming to life as the gap between first and fourth has closed down quite a lot ever since Adam Gracie went into pit lane. So how long can Lyle Mitchell hold on to the lead here when he's got three very fast and very hungry cars right behind him? Two out of the three cars behind him are fighting for the Chase Championship, with Justin Cope second in the points standings for the Chase, and Tony Kirchhoff in fifth. Only 5 points separating the two. So Kirchhoff would like to hold his position, and Cope would like to add some extra gap between the two, and both of them trying to pull away from that 8 of Mark Sakoshi, or rather make up some ground as Nicholas Pressey looks to the outside of Justin Cope, trying to get it done the long way here as he really sends it into the corner. He's going to try to make it stick on exit. He's got the drive off, and he's going to make the pass around the outside work here at Martinsville. So that number 94 is looking bad fast right now. And he's looking to the outside of Kirchhoff. Granted, he's on much fresher tires than Kirchhoff and Mitchell. Kirchhoff going to fight back on the inside, but Pressey going to really send it in and get that spot. That's the power of that added grip. You can really send it in harder, and that car won't try to swap ends on you as much as compared to the drivers with 60-plus lap old tires. As Lyle Mitchell gets in the wall in front of car number 94, do we see Pressey look towards his outside in the coming laps? He's definitely making his intentions clear. If this passes around Cope and Kirchhoff were any proof. But if I'm Nicholas Pressey, I do not want to see a caution come out anytime soon. Let these guys on older tires struggle more while you have the tire advantage. And if I'm Lyle Mitchell, I'm hoping for a caution in this instance so I can get a fresh set of rubber, as Pressey looking to make the move on Mitchell on exit. Mitchell going to make the block both ways, making himself as wide as the track here. You can see Justin Cope trying to work around Tony Kirchhoff. But both drivers not able to get around the cars in front of them. Pressey kind of biding his time. Maybe he's trying to pressure Lyle Mitchell into a mistake as well. You can see just how hard Cope sent it, trying to send it around the outside of Kirchhoff. Not going to be able to work. Pressey doing a good job of not sliding that car too much, and Lyle Mitchell doing a good job of holding on to that lead. But how will this change once they come up on the lapped car of Dawson Kent right in front of him? He's on fresher tires than all of the leaders. But man, that one car looks very squirrely when it gets the power down. So I think Pressey's going to try to use that to his advantage, try to pressure that one car into burning up those rears even more. And then just slowly work his way. But he's going to try to go on the outside right now, not able to chop it down and work his way to the inside on exit. Kind of overdid it a little bit in the corner right there, but doesn't lose too much time. More importantly, doesn't lose the spot behind to Kirchhoff, who's probably busy trying to hold off that number 59 as Pressey looks to the outside of Lyle Mitchell once again. But Pressey gets loose, and he's going to lose the spot to Kirchhoff and Cope. So a rare mistake from Nicholas Pressey sees him get really loose and almost lose control of the car, trying to get to the outside of Lyle Mitchell. Now he's going to try to work around Justin Cope to get one of those spots he lost back. Still on the outside of Justin Cope. Cope not making it any easy for Pressey. Pressey might have to drive off the corner. No, he doesn't. Cope going to pull up alongside. Pressey in the wall a little bit down the back straightaway here. Pressey, oh, that car is sideways. And caution is out as he gets the car gathered right in front of Mark Sakoshi. But yeah, Pressey really heated up those tires, diving it into the corner so hard and trying to use that outside line to his advantage. Using that outside line, you know, it can work, but it heats up those rear tires fast as everyone dives into pit lane. No real need to go to an instant replay since we saw exactly what happened as it happened. But now I'm curious, if you are, you know, if you're Mark Sakoshi, you have about 40 lap fresher tires than the cars in front. Why don't I maybe try a 2-tire strategy to get yourself ahead and kind of you know, manage the looseness? But it looks like 4 tires is going to be the call from car number 8, as Justin Cope gonna try and rocket ahead of Tony Kurgel. As, oh, it looks like Tony Kurgel got an end of line penalty. It looks like he was too fast exiting pit lane. So a costly mistake from Tony Kurgel gonna send him to the back, and that's gonna hurt his championship hopes if he can't get to the front. But someone who stayed out is that number 3 of Brian Wiggins on 40-lap old tires. Do we see him jump into pit lane? No, he's still staying out. So we're gonna have something pretty interesting here. We're gonna have a car on 40-lap old tires and damaged. You see, that number 3 is pretty banged up. Gonna lead us back to the green flag with mostly clean cars on fresh tires right behind. Definitely gonna be interesting to see how this turns out for Wiggins, because he's definitely not gonna have as good of a launch compared to these cars with more rear grip. But pace car is in. It's going to be Brian Wiggins leading his first laps of tonight's event and leading us back to the green flag for, I believe, restart number 9 here at the Advanced Auto Parts 500. Green flag is out. A good start for Wiggins as he's able to get a little bit of a gap. You can see just how much time Lyle Mitchell makes up in the corner here. He's already looking to the inside of Wiggins. Wiggins going to try to pinch Mitchell down, but Mitchell, with all the grip in the world, able to get around that 3 car. Now, Brian Wiggins not going to try and block faster cars on the inside, which is pretty smart because that would almost surely get him sent around. But Lyle Mitchell back in the lead, with Justin Cope in second, Nicholas Pressey in third, and look who's in. And look who's challenging for 4th. It is Mark Sakoshi coming back from perennially 1 lap down. And like I said, he would be a force to be reckoned with in the later stages of this race. And with a clean, or a mostly clean number 8, that looks like to be ringing true, as he's going to pressure the back of Nicholas Pressey for 3rd. But Lyle Mitchell going to try and pull away, currently with an 0.8 of a second gap over 2nd place. And let's get an update on Tony Kurgel trying to fight back from that end of line penalty. Up to 7th right now. So if he can catch a lucky caution or 2, he might be able to mix it up with with the leaders once again. But for third, Mark Sikoshi looking to the inside of Pressey. Pressey not going to be able to hold him off just yet. I think Sikoshi's going to try to dive it into the 3. No. Pressey shuts the door in his face, and Sikoshi had to get on the brakes extra hard since he entered so shallow. Less than 100 laps to go here, and the caution is out. It's Brian Wiggins around in turn number 4. That stand out call did not work for him, and most likely resulted in more damage for that number 3 car. So let's get a replay going to see what happened to Brian Wiggins. So battling with English, and that car just has no rear grip, got up in the marbles, and it sent that number 3 around. And he had to park it on the high side, and that brought out the caution. So now Lyle Mitchell loses that 0.8 of a second gap that he had, but also Nicholas Pressey jumps into pit lane. So maybe Pressey looking to make a pit stop adjustment on car number 94. Maybe to try and tighten that car up a little bit. And Adam Gracie is back on the lead lap. He's back to 6th right now. But he's also on older tires than the 5 cars in front of him by about 20 laps. So it's not a crazy amount. At the same time, there is a definite difference in the tire quality for cars 17 and then the top 5 of Lyle Mitchell, Justin Cope, Mark Sikoshi, Colton English, and Tony Kurgel. 95 laps to go here for, I believe, the 10th caution of today's Advanced Auto Parts 500. See the field going around Brian Wiggins. Yeah, Brian Wiggins actually goes a lap down from that. But pace car lights are off. Looks like Wiggins is going to be inserted between Justin Cope and Mark Sikoshi, it looks like. So Sikoshi kind of getting the short end of the stick, and he's going to have to deal with a lap car on fresh tires right in front of him. So definitely not ideal for car number 8, especially when his chase rival is ahead of that lap car. Justin Cope right on the back bumper of Lyle Mitchell as we get ready to roll him for the 10th time again. Green flag is out, and a good start for Lyle Mitchell. Adam Gracie jumps to the inside of Tony Kurgel, and he's going to get that move made. And he's actually going to get to the inside of Colton English as well. So we might see Adam Gracie move up into 4th, and we do. So a sly move by Adam Gracie gets him into 4th. Maybe just gave the bumper a little bit to Brian Wiggins, as he's going to try to catch the 3 cars ahead of him. But still side by side as Gracie trying to work around Wiggins. He's going to get it made. And now Kurgel going to have to deal with that number 3 car as well. Kurgel not giving Wiggins a lot of room, as Wiggins is the first car 1 lap down, but now he's starting to move out of everyone's way. Further up front, we have a chase battle brewing for 2nd place. Chase championship leader Mark Sikoshi looking to pull a move on current chase runner-up Justin Cope for the 2nd spot behind Lyle Mitchell. Both these drivers running very similar lap times. Sikoshi just a tad slower than Cope last time by, but only by about 0.5 tenth, so not by much at all. as Cope's actually starting to reel in. Lyle Mitchell last time by was about a 10th faster than that one car. So maybe we'll see Justin Cope, who's proven himself to be very good on the short tracks in this car, start to make up a lot of time on that one car, who seemed to be, when he gets in the lead, the car to beat. As Cope sideways overcorrects into the outside wall. Oh, commentators curse if I've ever called it. Good Lord! Right after I said he's looking to make up time, just a big overcorrect, and that's gonna, this late in the race, losing your front clip, that is tough for car number 59. Hopefully the suspension isn't damaged on that, but he hit that safer barrier pretty hard when he overcorrected into it. Like, once again, no real need for an instant replay, because we literally just saw what happened. And it was just Cope went in a little bit too hard at the back end, started to step out from him, and he had to try to save it, and the car gripped up in the middle of that counter steering and just sent him around. But looks like mostly everyone's still staying out. No need to pit when you only have 22 laps on these tires. Only people who came into pit lane was Nicholas Pressey and Justin Cope. Cope for obvious reasons. Pressey looks like he's still trying to get some damage repaired on that 94 car. Maybe try to restore some of the balance on car number 94. Him and Cope both going to get out of pit lane. Cope got the front end reattached on car number 59, but it still looks like it looks like that crew still has some work to do to get it back in tip-top shape. But now your top 5 has changed quite a lot. It is Lyle Mitchell, Mark Sikoshi, Tony Kurgel, Adam Gracie, and Colton English making up your top 5 here at Martinsville. And base car lights are off, so we're going to be going green flag racing with 82 laps to go for restart number 11, if I'm not mistaken. But Mark Sikoshi's car has really come alive ever since getting it fully repaired. Base car is in. What does he have for his teammate of Lyle Mitchell with 82 laps to go? Once Lyle Mitchell crosses the stripe out of turn 4, green flag is out, and a good start by Sikoshi did not allow Mitchell to get away too much on that restart, and he's hungry to make up time to that one car. Tony Kurgel wants to get around Mark Sikoshi at all costs to make up ground in the chase coming to the final race next week at Las Vegas. But Lyle Mitchell still leading the way as Nicholas Pressey looks at the inside of Justin Cope for 7th, but had to back out of it. Pressey trying to get a feel for the car's balance now that it's gotten more repairs done to it. That left rear is still very banged in, but he's still trying to feel out the minute differences as this run progresses. Only about 3 laps into this run right now. But Lyle Mitchell slowly pulling away from Sikoshi right now. I think they matched lap times that time by. Sikoshi just barely faster than Mitchell, but only by 0.02 of a second. So not by much at all, almost practically equal. But Tony Kurgel putting a lot of pressure on the back bumper of Mark Sikoshi for that second spot. So Mark Sikoshi can't afford to let up at all. And then Tony Kurgel also has the very fast Adam Gracie right behind him as well. We've seen Gracie lead a bunch of laps here. If he can get around these two, we'll see if maybe we have some late race tensions flaring up between cars 1 and 17. But that's all dependent on if Gracie can get around both Kurgel and Sikoshi. Further in the back, Brian Wiggins trying to get around Nicholas Pressey, not going to be able to make it happen. As we see Elijah Grant at the top of the shot going way high, almost gone to the side of Justin Cope on exit. Oh, Wiggins gets into the back bumper of Pressey. And that sends Pressey around. No caution called just yet. Pressey trying to get the caution called by driving in reverse down the back straightaway.
Caution.
And now the caution finally comes out.
Slow her down.
But Pressey ends up going a lap down because of it. And since he was involved in that accident, he won't be getting the lucky dog. But this gives the opportunity for the field to close up once again. Adam Gracie jumps into pit lane, so he's going to be losing a couple of spots. Now that he's getting a fresh set of tires. But it's going to be interesting to see how fast his speed will be in comparison to the cars in front, because assuming he gets tires, he's going to have about a 35 lap difference on the cars ahead. Now, granted, some of that is due in part due to cautions. But Gracie definitely going to have a tire advantage compared to the cars ahead whenever he comes out of pit lane. I believe he will come out of pit lane in the 6th position behind Ray Partridge. As, yeah, Gracie out of pit lane right now. So he's going to catch up to the rear of the field in 6th. But Lyle Mitchell going to remain the leader. The question is, does he pit again sometime? Well, I think that's dependent on how good Adam Gracie is going to be, and if we get a bunch of cautions. Because if we get a bunch of cautions, that kind of negates any tire advantage and slowly whittles down the lap times around here, or the laps around here, without allowing for too much position change. But pace car is in. But if we get a long run, we might see Adam Gracie slowly carve through the cars in front. But Lyle Mitchell leading the field to the green flag for restart 13, I believe. Green flag is out, and a great start by Mitchell. Not so good start for Sikoshi, as we see Gracie jump to the inside of Ray Partridge on the restart. Gracie going to be looking to the inside of Colton English into turn 3. English shuts the door in his face. So Gracie hungry to get around this 45, as he looks like to take a wide entry and then cut it down low. He's going to try to get to the inside of English. Coming into turn 3, almost contact made between the two, but Gracie forces his way through. So he's going to be up into the 4th position, getting around Colton English. And now he's going to try to work on Kurgel and Sakoshi. As both of them starting to fall back a little bit from Lyle Mitchell, who's growing that lead to 9/10 of a second. Kurgel overdrove the corner a little bit. That's going to allow Gracie to jump to his inside. So now Adam Gracie and Tony Kurgel battling into turn 3. This is not good for Tony Kurgel, but he's going to get passed by Adam Gracie. And now Gracie right behind Sakoshi, hard on the brakes, but using that tire's grip to his advantage. And now Gracie working hard on the back end of Sakoshi, but he gets really loose, loses some time. That's going to heat up his rears. If I'm Adam Gracie right now, I need to take these next couple corners slow. Need to cool down those rear tires so the rear end doesn't slide out as much. You've already hurt your tires by sliding like that. You got a little bit too happy on the throttle. But oh yeah, he clips the curb there too, and that's gonna lose him some more time. And now Tony Kurgel looking to his inside, and now Gracie gonna have to use up more of that rear grip to hold off car number 13. Get car dancing all over the track. And this is allowing Lyle Mitchell and Mark Sakoshi to pull away. Tony Kurgel has to be a little bit upset. Car getting past on fresher tires, and then as soon as he gets past you, he starts sliding on exit, holding you up. But looks like Gracie now finally able to get some stability in that number 17 car, and gonna try to hunt down the top 2. Now Gracie needs no cautions to come out at all if I'm him, and needs to take care of these tires so he can enjoy the benefits of this tire difference between him and the 2 cars in front of him as much as possible. Last time by, a 19.515 for Adam Gracie, a 19.585 for Mark Sakoshi, and a 19.672 for Lyle Mitchell. So Adam Gracie is faster than the 2 cars in front. And he has a very real shot to get past both of them. If this stays green, he's going to look to the inside of Sakoshi. Sakoshi shuts the door in his face. Gracie going to try and get a run down the front straightaway. Gets a little bit loose. He gets on the brakes hard not to run to the back end of Sakoshi. So you saw him get a little bit loose, adding more rear heat into the tires of car number 17. It's going to hurt him on exit. You see Lyle Mitchell getting loose out of turn number 4. So it looks like he's struggling with rear grip on corner exit, at least of turn number 4. And Mark Sakoshi is right now the best poised, as he hasn't been getting loose at all, as we see Lyle Mitchell scrape the wall down the front straight. As Chris Norris coming out of pit lane, he's going to slot in between Gracie and Kurgel. See Gracie scraping the wall down the front straightaway here. I think Gracie's just pushing the car too hard, trying to catch the cars in front when he'll naturally catch them just on the basis of having better tires. But by pushing so much, you kind of accelerate the rate in which your tires are degrading. And you know the 2 cars ahead of him, at the very least Mark Sakoshi, is taking care of his tires. You know, you don't really see him sliding that much, and it's definitely slowing Gracie up a little bit. But now Gracie looks to the inside of Sakoshi. He has to get on the brakes hard to not hit Sakoshi, as Sakoshi shuts the door in his face. But if I'm Lyle Mitchell, I want to see these cars go side by side and hold each other up. Or at the very least, see Mark Sakoshi hold up Gracie as much as possible. But you play a dangerous game if you hold someone up at Martinsville. One bump can send you around. And I'm sure Sakoshi's pretty aware of that, since he's teammates with the car in front of him, Lyle Mitchell, who earlier in the race got sent around by Gracie. And we saw when Lyle Mitchell got past Adam Gracie to retake the lead right around halfway, how he kind of repaid the favor with a little nudge of his own.
Caution.
But the
Yellow
caution
flag
comes
is
out,
Stop
and
the
I'm
count.
not sure who it's for. It might be Adam DeFore, all the way in the back, as that car is slow down the back straightaway. See what brought out the caution here. Looking at Adam DeFore, really overcooks it into turn one, and that car just does a lazy spin. He tries to, it looks like he gassed it up to kind of get that car pointed right, but ended up going into pit lane and actually got an end of line penalty for an unsafe pit entrance. But 9 laps down, and this is going to be pretty interesting. Do we see Lyle Mitchell and Lyle Mitchell stays out, and even stranger, Adam Gracie. Actually, no, Lyle Mitchell going into pit lane after Mark Sakoshi, so he's going to give up the lead doing this, most likely. So very interesting from Lyle Mitchell, because he's most likely going to lose the lead from that. Maybe pit road wasn't open for him at the time. That's the only thing. This is gonna make Mark Sakoshi jump to the lead, with Adam Gracie right behind him. Now maybe Adam Gracie took his last set of tires, but yeah, that caution was not beneficial for Adam Gracie, as he needed it to go as long as possible for the tire difference to really set itself in. But with how much he was sliding on exit, it was not doing him any favors. So maybe he did need a new set of tires. But 44 laps to decide it. Lyle Mitchell back in 6th from first. I have no idea what made him go into pit lane after everyone else. But pace car is in. It's going to be Mark Sakoshi leading the field, leading his first laps of tonight's event to a pivotal restart with 44 laps to go. Adam Gracie all sorts of loose on the restart. Tony Kurgel looking to his outside. All of these cars on equal tires. Kurgel with a big run down the back straightaway. Gracie trying to get some heat into those tires, and he's going to stay ahead of car number 13. But does he have the speed to catch up to that 8 car currently leading the way? As Mark Sakoshi shines in positions like these late in the race to defend a lead. That's what Mark Sakoshi's the best at, and that's the position he's in right now, trying to extend the gap on his chase competitors. As we're looking through the field currently at Ray Partridge in 6th behind Lyle Mitchell, who is looking to get around Colton English, but Colton English shuts the door in his face for the 4th spot. But English kind of overdrives the center of the corner, going a little bit high. This is going to get Mitchell to his inside. So Mitchell going to dive to the inside of Colton English. English going to try to fight back on that high side, but not going to be able to make it happen. So move Lyle Mitchell into the 4th spot. But he's still about 2.7 seconds behind, which is a really hard gap to make up in 38 laps. He's going to have to drive flawlessly to even have a chance of getting back to Tony Kurgel. But Mark Sikoshi holding on to the lead right now, matching times with Adam Gracie, as both of these cars start to pull away from Tony Kurgel. Sikoshi trying to set himself up for a better shot at the championship, and Adam Gracie trying to chase for the lucrative first win in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series. But Sikoshi definitely showing Gracie how it's done. Haven't really seen too much of a wiggle from that 8 car. Especially coming all the way back from what seemed like really bad damage at the start of this race to leading this race with 34 laps to go. I tell you what, Gracie is keeping him honest, but not with corners like that. Losing about 1/10 of time just from that. Mark Sikoshi not really the kind to make a lot of mistakes once he gets into a rhythm. And I tell you what, this 8 car is looking very locked in right now with 32 laps to go. But maybe lap traffic we just saw at the top of the shot might play a crucial role late in this race. As Sikoshi still matching times with Gracie. But Gracie trying his best to close in on Sikoshi. I think Sikoshi's just trying to take care of his tires as much as possible in the event of a late race caution, which happens a lot here at Martinsville to add to the drama of this half-mile paperclip. But coming to under 30 laps to go here. And now Mark Sikoshi opens that lead back up to 5.5 tenths over Adam Gracie. But like I said, what is going to happen when they catch lapped cars of Chris Norris and then Nicholas Pressey, who just seems to completely lost the handling on that number 94 car. Just all that speed has gone away, and he's currently residing back in 9th. What's going to happen if Sikoshi catches these guys? And, you know, some of them are probably battling for position, so they wouldn't be in too big of a hurry to just move over for them. But man, if I'm Adam Gracie, I was just about to say, you hope for a caution to get a lot closer, and then maybe for a little bit of a bump. But we don't know what brought out that caution, so let's go to standby mode real quick to see what brought it out. Currently looking at Elijah Grant with Robert Wiggins on his inside. Wiggins just overdrives the corner and gets into the left rear of Grant. Wiggins eventually straightens him out, but still enough to bring out the caution here. And do we see anyone go down pit lane? Nope, does not look like it. The only car to go down pit lane is Justin Cope and Nicholas Pressey. I think that's more for repairs than anything. Because I think that a lot of these drivers are just going to stay out no matter what. Well, what do you do if you are Adam Gracie? Chasing your first win, you know, Mark Sakoshi has looked vulnerable to Adam Gracie at times. So, you know, do you try to get the best restart that you can? As, oh, is that Tony Kerchel? Okay, I thought Tony Kerchel was going in a pit lane for a second. I was about to be like, this kind of is strange. But he was just running a lower line. But like I was saying, do you kind of throw caution to the wind and try and move that car in front of you out of the line? Sure, that's definitely going through Adam Gracie's mind as he starts right behind Mark Sakoshi. And man, if I'm Tony Kerchel, I'm really hoping that Adam Gracie does that to prevent this championship from slipping further out of reach. Because if Mark Sakoshi wins this, it's definitely going to be hard for the rest of this field to make up enough points in one race at Las Vegas, barring something crazy. Pace car is in, 22 laps to go. Once he crosses the stripe, it's going to be Mark Sakoshi leading the field to the green flag. Green flag is out, and a good start by Mark Sakoshi, able to pull ahead of Adam Gracie by about 0.4 of a second. Oh, Tony Kerchel gets moved up the track. That's Lyle Mitchell moving into third. And now Colton English jumping to the inside of Tony Kerchel. Kerchel having to fight his way on the outside right next to Colton English to keep on to that fourth position. Really diving it in to turns 1 and 2. Gonna get clear of English. Exiting 2. But we see a little bit of a bump for the lead. Adam Gracie now moving to the inside of Mark Sakoshi with 20 laps to go. Battle for the lead with 20 to go. Gracie versus Sakoshi as we exit turn number 2. Gracie with a better drive on exit, but Sakoshi hanging strong on that outside. Gracie drives Sakoshi up the track. Sakoshi has to get out of it. So now Sakoshi having to deal with Lyle Mitchell in second. Battle for second underway between Lyle Mitchell and Mark Sakoshi. Mitchell gets clear of Sakoshi. Now Kerchel trying to reignite his championship hopes right behind Mark Sakoshi for that third spot. Kerchel getting a little bit loose on exit. Adam Gracie enjoying about a second lead over Mark Sakoshi. And things have gotten tense here at Martinsville Speedway. Do you remember earlier in this race, I mentioned it a couple times, but do you remember when Lyle Mitchell got sent around by Adam Gracie, and then Lyle Mitchell came back through the field to give Adam Gracie a little bit of his own medicine by getting that number 17 loose? Do we see him make up 1 second in 16 more laps? Or rather, he more realistically only needs to make up about 8/10 of a second in 16 laps to be in range for a possible bump and run. But right now, it's about 1.1 seconds between Lyle Mitchell and Adam Gracie. Gracie has to drive the cleanest laps of his life. No mistakes from that number 17 car in these last 15 laps. But driving up high in the corner like that is going to be tough for your lap times. Lyle Mitchell incrementally gaining time on Adam Gracie. And man, if I am Mark Sakoshi, you know, I am not going to try to fight Lyle Mitchell that much, because if you do, that kind of just secures the win for Adam Gracie. And if I'm Adam Gracie, I do not want a caution under any circumstances. That is a terrifying 2 cars to be starting in front, but we see Gracie get a little bit loose on corner exit. Maybe that 17 car's handling is starting to go away at the worst time. He's trying to nurse this car back home. Coming to 11 laps to go for Adam Gracie. Lyle Mitchell still 1.1 seconds behind the leader. This window to close up on car number 17 is closing very quickly. And at what point does Mark Sakoshi throw caution to the wind and start battling his teammate for that second spot to put more of a cushion between him and Tony Kurgel behind? Playing the long game, playing versus the immediate game. Lyle Mitchell into the wall a little bit down the back straight area. Sakoshi looks to the inside of Lyle Mitchell, but doesn't try to make any moves, and this is perfect for Adam Gracie. The gap has now extended to 1.3 seconds between first and second place. I think Lyle Mitchell desperately wants a caution to get him a little bit closer to Gracie, and Gracie desperately wants to run this out to the end. 8 laps to go for Adam Gracie to capture his first career win in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series, as he's starting to pull away from Lyle Mitchell as Mitchell gets over the curbs. So that car is handling not faring too well, as now Sakoshi looks to the inside of Lyle Mitchell, but gets on the binders early, as, man, Lyle Mitchell is having a hard time controlling that one car. Now side by side for second, as Sakoshi looks to the inside. 2 seconds separating first and second place now, as Mark Sakoshi gets around Lyle Mitchell with 6 laps to go here at Martinsville. Ray Partridge without a front end, driving pretty slowly in the preferred line. That's going to add an extra 0.3 of a gap to Adam Gracie. Gracie hoping and praying that he can get to the white flag with no issues 4 more times around here. And if he sees that white flag, that means there will be no cautions to spoil his big day. But anything can happen here at Martinsville. Do we see a costly green-white checkered, a costly mix-up in the back of this field to bring us to a green-white checkered? Gracie's desperately hoping that that is not the case. When he comes out of turn number 4, he will have 2 more laps to see the white flag. 3 laps to go here at Martinsville for Adam Gracie. How nervous do you have to be? You're enjoying a 1.6 second gap over Mark Sakoshi. I think Gracie's really trying to take this as smoothly as possible. No mistakes from car number 17. Tony Kurgel looking to get around Lyle Mitchell. 2 laps to go. Adam Gracie just has to get to turn 4 to see the white flag, and then no cautions will come out. This is Adam Gracie's race to lose. 1 more lap for him to capture his first career win in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series at the Advanced Auto Parts 500 out of turn 2. Very clean. He's got 1 lap car of Chris Norris, too far ahead for him to be of any concern. Like Ricky Craven in 2002, Adam Gracie is going to capture his first career win in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series at Martinsville. I don't even know if I got the year right with that Ricky Craven comparison. All I know is that Ricky Craven won at Martinsville for his first win. But Adam Gracie, this is a big day for him. He's going to drift it through turn 4, and he's going to be your winner for the Advanced Auto Parts 500. He's going to slam that car into the outside safer barrier. Who cares? He'll make more than enough money from the winnings to cover any damage. as I'm sure he is more than happy. I believe that is his team's first win in National Sim Racing. So very glad for that number 17 team and Greedy Goblin Racing as a whole. But while Gracie is doing his celebratory burnouts here at Martinsville, let's get your finishing results up on the screen real quick. With his first career win in National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series career, it is going to be Adam Gracie in first. Mark Sakoshi got dealt a bumper by your winner and has to come home in second. Lyle Mitchell falls to third. Tony Kurgel got around Lyle Mitchell, but it looks like Lyle Mitchell was able to best him coming to the line. So Tony Kurgel will have to deal with fourth, and Mark Sakoshi pulls away from everyone even more in the chase hunt coming to the final race at Las Vegas next week. Coming home in fifth, a great day for car number 45. Colin English gets a top 5 win. I believe this is his first top 5 this season. So a great run for the driver of car number 45. First car outside of the top 5, it's going to be Justin Cope. Not a day he wants to see, with his championship rival coming home in second and him coming home in sixth. Still might be salvageable at Las Vegas, but he's going to need a lot of luck. Same thing for Brian Wiggins, who finishes right behind Justin Cope in seventh. John Bittler, a pretty blasé day for him. He comes home in eighth. First car 1 lap down. Elijah Grant comes home in ninth, and rounding out your top 10 is going to be Ray Partridge, whose race kind of fell apart at the end, rounding out your top 10 3 laps down. First car outside of the top 10 is going to be Robert Wiggins in car number 26, then followed by Nicholas Press, who seemed to have this race in control, and then it just all fell apart in his hands. He'll come home 12th. Chris Norris comes home 13th, and Adam DeFord did not finish this race. He'll come home in 14th. Dawson Kent 15th, Dylan Lansdale 16th, and Shane Gentry did not start this race, but he'll be credited with 17th place. So don't go anywhere. We have interviews, especially with a first-time winner coming up. So don't go anywhere. Please stand by. All right, we welcome you back to the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series Advanced Auto Parts 500. And we're just about to get driver interviews underway, and we will start with our first place finisher and first time winner, Adam Gracie, coming home with the win here at Martinsville. Let's get him into the booth. Coming home with his first win in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series, it is Adam Gracie, driver of car number 17, coming home in first. How you feeling?
Dude, I am cloud nine on top of the world, man. I cannot believe I had so much speed tonight. I am just beyond words, man.
Yeah, you definitely showed it off with that first long green flag run, and once at the end, once Sakoshi got past you, I was like, oh, you're sliding a lot on exits. It's gonna be hard for you to get it, but you got the caution that you needed, and you're able to put the bumper to him. How nervous were you at the closing stages of this race to try and hold on to that lead?
Pretty early when I had that long green run, man, I felt super confident. And then once the sun set down, I was just talking to Sakochi about this. Once the sun set, man, the car just changed completely. And so I had a hard time trying to navigate, learning where it was. But once I got the grip of it, man, and I felt like I was, I got right behind in the third place. I just head down, focused. I knew that if I was able to maintain a good line and keep up with the guys, that I had a potential to win it, man. And I'm just, like I said, beyond words. I'm very grateful. Thank you to all my sponsors. Thank you to Mark and all the gentlemen who run NSR. This has been amazing. Great racing.
Yeah, I mean, you really did it when something that I know something that I was kind of trying to say throughout the race was that there was a little bit of you could say friendly beef between you and Lyle Mitchell, kind of shots being traded between you two when you got into Lyle Mitchell for the first time to take the lead. Was that just complete on accident? And then were you expecting Lyle Mitchell to kind of drive into your quarter panel a little bit, and rough you up to get past you?
Yeah, that was honestly a complete accident. I didn't expect him to check up so hard into the turn. I thought he was going to carry a lot more momentum. And right as I noticed that, I tried to wash up the track, and I had barely caught the right rear of his car and spun him. I apologized to him. We were able to, friendly, just kind of banter it back and forth on the track. I'm glad we were able to keep it professional. Yeah, it was just fun racing, and I can't wait for next week.
All right, and before we let you go to celebrate your first career win a little bit more, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Simpson, Deutsch, Dubby Energy, Habits 365, and Squid Socks, my sponsors. They do amazing work, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work with them. And I'd like to thank the guys that run NSR and you as well, man. Thank you very much.
All right, well, that's Adam Gracie coming home with his first career win here at Martinsville. We look forward to seeing if you can back it up next week in the season finale at Las Vegas.
See you then.
All right, and coming home in second, it is Mark Sakoshi in car number 8. Don't got the greatest shot of him since this is an earlier point in the race, but it serves as a it serves well enough. So let's get him into the booth. Coming home in second, it's car number 8, Mark Sakoshi. Seems like you're in the interview booth every week, and that's kind of the reason why you're leading the chase right now. How you feeling after a very strong second place result here at Martinsville?
Oh man, that was a tough one. Car, I can tell you right now, the car was never the same after the wreck. We just had to fight and claw our way back. We kept working on it all race, getting it fixed up the best we could. We still had some damage on it. It wasn't handling right. It was plowing. We didn't have the grip we did in practice. It wasn't the same, but I mean, we fought our way up there. We were leading the race. We got some bonus points. We were just happy to be up there, even with a shot to win. I didn't think we were gonna be able to hang on to it, but even to be up, that's why I let Lyle go. I saw him coming up with freshies. I figured he could get the Gracie, but either Gracie's car came to him or he got it better there throughout the night because he was a little bit quicker there for a bit in them short runs. If we got a longer run there at the end, maybe we would have a shot at him. I know we were reeling him in there. We were charging there at the very end, but Yeah, man, it was a up and down night. We-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to just come away with a second, and we go into Vegas with a nice points lead. Um, Anything can still happen in Vegas. I mean, we got to show up. We got to still have a somewhat strong finish. But yeah, we'll be back next week we'll have a shot next week.
Yeah, and I kind of wanna know, like, what were you feeling after that first lap incident? Because I looked at the standings and you had a 12-point lead entering, and I was like, oh man, Mark's gotta be hopping mad. He's got a 12-point lead, and it just kind of exploded on him in
Yeah.
lap one, turn one. But you're able to get it all fixed and kind of come out to a second place finish to claw your way back for the field. But I kind of just want to know, what were you feeling in the moment?
I was upset. We had to, switch over to, we had to get in the right state of mind. All right, we got a long race to go. We can get this. Maybe we can get this fixed up and work our way back up there. The car was, I mean, you saw Lyle out there all night. Car was great. Um, if the car wasn't that good, we wouldn't have got back up there for sure. The car was really good long runs. Um, yeah, but we were just upset. We saw Tony getting squirrely in front of us. Looks like he spun the tires. I'm off the gas, hoping guys behind me, realize I'm not going. They shouldn't be going yet either. And I just got, ran into from behind. And it looks like we took out just about the whole field.
Yeah, it was quite the stack up in turn one. But I want to ask, how confident are you for your championship hopes coming in to next week at Las Vegas? You've racked up two good finishes at both Indy and Martinsville to give yourself quite the big points lead, like you said, but there's still work to be done. So I'd like to gauge you on how confident you are that you can get it done next week at Vegas.
I mean, it's really nice to have that gap back to second, but anything like what happened today, lap one, Martinsville. I mean, you never know what can happen. Um, we're gonna have a strong car. We just gotta, be a little careful at Vegas. Confidence. I mean, it's somewhat high. I mean, I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, what can go wrong? I mean, I've been in these situations so many times. Some could happen. We just gotta. We really need just a top 10 finish. That would probably do it for us. But you know, as good as these cars have been, we're probably going to be up there trying to go for another win.
All right. Well. Before we let you go, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah. First off, got to thank my teammates. Man, we really found something at Indy. It's been a blast this season. Got to thank all the other drivers for showing up this season. We got a lot of new guys coming on. Hopefully, we start off next season with a much larger field. Got to thank you for the awesome broadcast. Got to thank all of our viewers out there, friends and family of the league. Anybody looking to join the league, go to nationalsimracing.com. Yeah, I got to thank our sponsor, IRD Racing. If anybody needs any custom carburetor work done on their race cars, get a hold of John Bittler at irdracing.com.
All right. Well, that's Mark Sikoshi coming home a strong second place finish to add to his chase leading points effort. We look forward to seeing if you can seal the deal next week at Las Vegas.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Also, congrats to Adam Gracie. That's awesome for him.
I agree. But let's get to our third place finisher, Lyle Mitchell, in car number one. Let's get him in the booth. Coming home in third, it's Lyle Mitchell in car number one. How you feeling after another strong performance here in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I felt more confident than I did beginning of this when I first started off at Miami. It was a good run. Led a couple laps, led a lot of laps, for about almost 90 laps. our team sets us up for good cars all the time, so I always have confidence going to the race. So yeah, pretty good after this race.
So one of the things that I was kind of confused on was it was one of the later cautions in the race. I want to say it was about like 50 laps to go. Everyone comes into pit lane, and then you came in a lap later, which kind of sent you from the lead back to like sixth. So I was just curious, was like pit lane closed on your end, since I can't see it from the broadcast booth, or did you just like zone out and just didn't pit that lap?
I misjudged it. I know Mark was coming down. He said he was coming down. I didn't think everyone would come down because it was like 50 laps left. Most guys had newer tires. I didn't think everyone would come down, so I faked it. Then everyone did come down, so I'm like, oh, cool. I had to go get tires now, no matter what, or I'm gonna be that guy that's gonna be a loose cannon. So yeah, I came down the next lap. It kind of worked out in my favor. I mean, I finished third, but it's like if I pitted with Mark and I stuck with my gut, I might have finished first, second.
Well, yeah, but either way, you had a very strong car, and I believe that this is the most laps that you've led in national sim racing, at least this season. So what was it like leading so many laps? Because once you got past Adam Gracie, you were pretty hard to catch.
It's just I kind of checked out. I knew what I was doing. It kind of felt good leading laps. Like it gives you more confidence, and especially in the car. Like racing in general is mentally and confident. Like you have to have confidence to be able to do this stuff. So it's like leading those laps kind of boosted me more. Like winning not Gen 4, the Bush race last night helped me out tremendously about leading 125 laps the whole race last night. Going into this race, I knew that was what I was capable of doing, and I showed Mark what I could do. Hopefully I made my team owner proud. I made my team proud.
Well, if I was your team owner, I would be proud too. So before we let you go and ride the good momentum into Las Vegas next week off of a third place finish, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
My parents for letting me do this every week. My girlfriend for always giving me good confidence. Hopefully she's having good luck at the racetrack tonight with her. Mark Scocci, my team owner, MSI, John Bittler for sponsoring this league, you for hosting this, and these guys that come out every week and put on a show for everyone.
All right, well, that's Lyle Mitchell, driver of car number one, coming home a very strong third place finish here at Martinsville. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week in the season finale at Las Vegas.
Thank you.
All right, and with all of that said and done, let's start to wrap things up on what has been a chaotic race here at Martinsville. Thank you for watching the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series Advanced Auto Parts 500 here at Martinsville. We hope you enjoyed the race just as much as I did. Congratulations to our winner Adam Gracie on his first career win here in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series. Big thank you to our series sponsor, John Bittler and IRD Racing. Like Mark Sakoshi said, if you're looking for any custom carburetor work, you know who to call. It's the king of carburetors, 727-967-0189. IRD Racing. They're leagues head and shoulders, I should say, above their competition in terms of parts quality and customer service. So if you're looking to take your racing program to the next level, don't be afraid to hit up the good people at IRD Racing. Big thank you to Andrew Schulte and SKS Graphics for their ticker and help with the ticker. This wouldn't be possible without them. If you need tickers and ticker help for broadcasting, don't be afraid to hit up SKS Graphics and Andrew Schulte. Big thank you to David at Fireball Talks NASCAR for allowing me to broadcast this on his channel. Always great to have his support. And speaking of support, thank you, the viewer, for watching this broadcast. My name is Garrett Hess. You're watching Fireball Talks NASCAR. And next week, we'll close out the 2026 B season of National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series with the season finale at Las Vegas. We look forward to seeing you there. But in the meantime, y'all take it easy.